I literally had back-to-back panic attacks before getting on this camera, bro. And overall, I just feel like the year just hasn't been good to me. Our car broke down within like the first week of me coming back home from being on campus. And so I was without a car for like 2 months. At one point, I did have two sources of income because I had the internship, but I also had my other part-time job. And then they ended up letting everybody go. And so I lost that job. These are like big obstacles that are changing the entire direction of what I'm trying to do. I really do feel like a burden to a lot of people. I didn't want to keep having to like go to my friends every time I was going through something, because I'm sure that that was annoying and frustrating to have to hear negativity all the time. Like, I feel exhausted because I'm overworking myself to try and get to a place that I'm not at yet. But then I also feel like that what I'm doing isn't enough because I'm not at that point yet. Be the perfect person, the perfect friend, the perfect girlfriend. And it really does feel like the world is like punishing me. And I don't know why. It's like, am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to be successful? Am I supposed to, am I supposed to have these things? I don't know anymore. It's been hard trying to maintain my faith through all of this. I spent my whole life trying to be this perfect child of God, and where has it gotten me? And so I kind of just started like loosening up and not trying to be so perfect, because I'm like, it's not benefiting me in any way. And no one warned me that my 20s were gonna feel like this, and that there was just gonna be so much confusion and just not even knowing what to do or how to feel or how to go about things. What is the point of this year, bro? Like, what is the fucking point of this year? Like, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to tell me? What's on the other side? Hey guys, it's Bree. So clearly this is not a reaction video. For those of you who have been on the channel for a while, you guys know that this channel is a big outlet for me. And, in terms of, or in addition to some of the reactions and stuff that I do, I also like to just get on camera and talk. Whether it's me ranting about something, or even if it's just to vent about something that I'm dealing with. It's one of those days. It's one of those days where I just have a lot on my mind, and one thing that really helps me get through some of those challenges is just to talk about how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And part of me doing that is just being able to release a lot of what I've been feeling, but also just to hear any feedback, or to hear if anybody else has gone through anything similar. Where do I even start? It's been a lot. This year this year has been so rough. It's been so rough. And that's not to say that nothing good has happened, because I think the issue too is sometimes when I talk to people, sometimes, not every time, but sometimes when I talk to people, I feel like whenever I express like, hey, like I've had it rough, like, things haven't really been going my way, and I've had a lot of big stuff happen back to back to back. And overall, I just feel like the year just hasn't been good to me. And I feel like whenever I tell people that, people are quick to be like, oh no, you're not having a bad year. Like, what about this and what about that? And so I'm not saying that nothing good has come out of this year, but I also don't know if I can say that the good has outweighed the bad, because it just hasn't. I've really have had like a lot of conversations. Just I've really just have been trying to like make sense of everything, and just make sense of why certain things are happening or not happening. And like I feel like everything happens for a reason. And so I'm just trying to like understand like why some of these things have happened. It's so much. Like, even just with one of my biggest goals that I had for this year being that I wanted to move out and be independent. As much as people talk about manifestation and all of that, part of why I just haven't really been believing in that is because I have been trying to manifest, and I've been saying I've been saying this for at least the past 4 years, if not longer, that by May 2022 I was gonna be moved out on my own, independent, and it was something that I wanted so bad. It was something that I was working towards. Like, everything that I've done, everything that I've done, and how hard I worked in school, and just everything that I've been doing was supposed to lead up to that. Clearly, I'm not there yet. It's August now, and I'm still at home. And even with the whole job search thing, it's like people literally don't get it. That's why I've stopped venting to people about it, because there's just some people out there that just don't get it, and they just don't have the same um they don't have the same hardships. And I'm not saying everybody, but there's a lot of people out there who they just got lucky. They get every interview, they get every job, like they just have had no issues. And so in their mind, when they see people who aren't getting opportunities, it's like, oh, well, you must be doing something wrong. And again, like I've done everything that I possibly can. I've been like, I've been trying to add to my resume while I was in college. And then in terms of getting my resume together, I have had my resume, I literally getting my resume reviewed again at this point would just be tedious, because I've gotten my resume reviewed literally so many times at this point. Like probably over like 10 people this year have had critiques for my resume, and all of that. I've even been to resume workshops and did that. And so my resume is fine. My resume is fine. So it's not that, 'cause people assume that too, like, oh, like maybe you need to redo your resume. If I'm getting interviews, then I don't, the resume isn't the issue. But even with that, right, like with just the whole job search thing, that's been really, really difficult this year. Like, there was even one company that had straight up told me I had got hired and then ghosted me. And then there was another company that I ended up getting an internship for. But then, because that was the thing too, it's like I wanted a full time, like I kept saying it, and I kept trying to like get that full time job by the time that I graduate, because I never wanted to move back home. Like, I literally told my mom, I'm not coming back home. Like, I told her that. I'm like, I'm not coming back home. I'm gonna stay up here in Fairfax. Like, once I leave from here for, Christmas break, I'm not coming back. Granted, I ended up coming back during spring break, which was unplanned. But then even spring break, I was like, this will be the last time that I'm staying in this house. I literally told her that. And then here I am today. And so, but anyway, yeah, like, I was looking for something part-time, and then ended up getting a part-time internship. And because that was all I was able to get at that point, and it had been like months of me trying to find something, I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'll take it. And so I took that. They told me that I do the internship and then I could turn full time in August. And I'm like, okay, cool. A couple days before August, I checked in with them. And I'm like, hey, like, is the full time thing still happening? And then, of course, they tell me that they can't afford to make me full time right now, and that they have to keep me at part time. And again, this was because I at like. Cause this was literally like during like the interview process that they told me that I could go full time in August. And so that was my plan. Like I had it all planned out around like August was gonna be the month that I move out, and then they tell me 2 days before August 1st hits that they can't do that, and so then those plans go down the toilet. And so, I'm now having to try and find a backup plan because, of that. And then they also told me that full time only meant 30 hours, which which still isn't enough for me to move out on. So it's like I'm just completely back to square one with that. And then that's the thing too, even on top of that, like I was supposed to be learning how to drive over the summer because I haven't had any driving experience in like the past 4 years. And so I was in the process of trying to do that. And then my car broke down. Like, I kid you not, my car broke down within like the first week of me coming back home from being on campus. And so I was without a car for like 2 months. Like, I just got my car fixed like this month. Actually, I just got the car fixed like this month, or like the end of July. The end of July I have finally got it fixed, so I'm just now starting that. And it's just like, it's just all these different things. And then at one point I did have two sources of income because I had the internship, but I also had my other part-time job where I write blogs for this company. And then they ended up letting everybody go, and so I lost that job. So now I'm just stuck with the part-time job that I have now. And it's just it's a lot of big stuff, because again, people like to say that, oh, you're just letting the bad stuff overshadow the good. We're not talking about, oh, I hit a rock and my tire went flat, or oh, they didn't have, my favorite ice cream at the ice cream store. These aren't minor inconveniences that I'm dealing with. These are like big obstacles that are changing the entire direction of what I'm trying to do. So obviously I'm gonna feel like shit because every time I turn around, there's some big thing in the way, and I'm always having to like start over or having to postpone stuff that I'm trying to do, and it's just frustrating. And so it's like you have that. And then I spoke about this too, but even like my issues with like trying to make friends, I've had that issue since day one. And so, just dealing with that, feeling really lonely just all the time. Like I just always feel alone. People have told me, of course, like, oh, you can reach out, you can do this and do that, but it's like, one, when you're the person that's always reaching out first, it doesn't always feel like it's okay to reach out because I don't want to come across as a burden. And that's one thing that I've really been struggling with too, is feeling like a burden. Like I've just, like, I really do feel like a burden to a lot of people. Like I feel like I'm annoying people. I feel like I'm holding people back. Like, I don't know. I just feel like when I'm not around, I feel like when I'm not around, people are like, they're happier and they thrive more without me bothering them. And that's also something that I've had to like deal with. I just don't feel good about I don't feel good about my situation. I don't feel good about life. I don't feel good about myself. And it's like I just feel so like defeated and I feel so lost. And it's like I just don't know what to do. Like I feel like I'm just trying so hard in every single aspect of my life and nothing is going my way. Like literally nothing is going my way. And I briefly talked about this in my video about me starting therapy. I don't think I went into the specific, yeah, because I wasn't diagnosed at that point yet. So I have been in therapy, right? But I also went to see a psychologist because I wanted to see if, there was anything that I was dealing with that could be diagnosed. Because I'm pretty sure, or I was pretty sure that I was dealing with some type of mental issues. Because I've been feeling that way literally since I was a child, and so when I got evaluated, I found out I had major depression disorder. I have generalized anxiety, um, generalized anxiety disorder, socialized anxiety, and PTSD, trauma, and OCD. And so it was bittersweet to find out that stuff, because on one hand I was happy to finally have answers to some of the things that I've been dealing with, so I could figure out where to go from here, and like, okay, now that I know what I have, now I can do more research on it and figure out um how to deal with it. But then also I'm like, damn, like I have all of these issues, and it's like I don't want to put my issues onto other people, which is why I also decided to do therapy, because I didn't want to keep having to like go to my friends every time I was going through something, because I'm sure that was annoying and frustrating to have to hear negativity all the time. And so, that's why I started therapy. But even just thinking about that, like all the stuff that I'm dealing with, is like, damn, like, does anybody really want to deal with all that? Like, do people really want to like put up with someone that is dealing with all of these issues? And for me, it's like, because I'm so like empathetic and understanding of mental health, I'm usually that cushion for other people. Like when other people are going through their things and they're feeling depressed, I'm always very sensitive to that, and I'm always available to support people who are going through those things, but I don't know if I can necessarily expect other people to do that for me. And so it's like, again, back to just feeling like a burden. It's like I don't want to burden people, even though a lot of the times I do want to vent, or I feel like I might need help getting through something. But it's like I don't want to have to like I'm always going through shit. That's the thing. I'm always going through shit. I'm always feeling some type of negative emotion, and I don't want to constantly be that person that's texting somebody like, hey, I'm really going through it right now, like, because that's annoying. And so I don't want to do that. It's like, it's hard, because it's like I put a lot of pressure on myself to want to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. Like I that's another thing too, is like I feel like I work hard and I do a lot, but then it's like, then I also feel like I'm not doing enough, because I'm not where I want to be. And so it's like, it's like I feel exhausted because I'm overworking myself to try and get to a place that I'm not at yet, and I'm always anxious and worried that I'll never get there. But then I also feel like that what I'm doing isn't enough, because I'm not at that point yet. And then even just in friendships and relationships, like I just feel like on one hand I do a lot, and I try to be there, and I try to just be the perfect person, the perfect friend, the perfect girlfriend. I try to be, do as much as I can. Try to be what everybody wants me to be. And so it's like I do that, but then I still don't get, the end result that I would like. It's like I do, because again, it literally stems back from childhood too. But even just the thought of like, oh, I do this and this for people, but then I can't get it in return. And sometimes I just really be feeling like, like, am I just supposed to be alone? Because I don't want to. I know we live in this time where people all the time are just like, oh, you need to enjoy your own company and learn how to spend time alone and learn how to do stuff alone. But people's like, I don't think it's like, I don't know. I just don't think that that's normal for people to like. Aren't I won't say it's not normal, but I feel like people make it seem like it's wrong of me to not want to be alone like all the time, 24/7. And it's like when you're telling somebody who's already alone all the time that they should just be okay with that and they should just be alone more, that's not really helpful. But it's like I've been fighting with this for so long. It's like, damn, like, am I really just supposed to like live my life alone? And it's, but I just feel like that's just it's such a miserable feeling for me. And it's like I don't want to be feeling like that all the time, but it's like I can't, I also can't force it either, and it just sucks. Like I'm just, it's like I'm always just so like, again, anxious and worried about my future. Like I literally had back to back panic attacks before getting on this camera, bro. Like I could not breathe. I like it was awful, and I literally haven't had panic attacks like this in a couple of months. Um, because I don't have panic attacks that often, but again, this year has just been so rough that it's just, yeah. Because I've just been so worried about so many things, like, will I ever be successful? Even when it comes to like dating and stuff, it's like, people have their different, opinions or whatever, right? But, obviously, I've come on here and I've told you guys that, that I'm single and then I got out of a relationship this year. And, some people are of the opinion that, I should, date around and get to know people, like as a distraction, but I just personally don't operate that way. And then there's other people who believe my school of thought, which is just, take time for yourself and just don't even worry about that. But with that, again, being one of my fears, which I'm trying to get out of, like, I'm really trying to get out of that whole fear because, yeah, because it kind of goes back to my fear of feeling lonely, which is that I'm gonna end up alone and I'm not gonna end up with somebody. And a part of me honestly just feels like maybe I should just accept that, because the more time goes on, the more I just feel like that's gonna happen. Like I just, when it comes to people that I'm with and that I have like a strong, connection to, I get really, really attached. I get really, really attached. And it's hard because I don't know how to be halfway with someone that I like and that I'm in a relationship with. I just don't know how to do that. I wish I knew how to do that. I wish I had that skill to only give someone 50% or only give someone 75%. I actually wish I knew how to do that, but I don't. I only know how to give someone 110% of me. I only know to just be everything for that person. Like, that's all I know, is to put my entire being into that person, into that relationship. And so it's like, when you do that, and you do that, when you do that, hoping that, is gonna, because that's the thing too, it's like I also don't look at relationships as temporary. And so I'm like, and people say that these are the things that you need to do when you're dating. Like, you shouldn't go into it thinking it's gonna last forever. You shouldn't go into it, thinking about the future. You shouldn't go into it, putting your all into it. I just don't know how to do that. And I can't even wrap my mind around that concept. And so I'm just like, maybe it's just not for me. Cause like, I dead ass can't do this, bro. Like, when I was in high school, there was someone else that I also had very strong feelings for. Like, I was in love with them. And it took me like, it dead ass took me like years. It took me years to get over that person, to stop crying over that person, to stop thinking about that person. It literally took me years to detach myself from that person. And it's like, here I am in the same situation again, except this was like a deeper commitment. But it's like, it's the same thing where it's like, you know, I'm trying to, like, you know, and granted, I'm not suffering as bad as I was when it first happened, but goddamn, it still hurts. It still hurts. It still sucks. And it's like, in both of those situations, it just always seems like I, like, really threw myself 1,000% in, thinking that it was gonna last forever. And then when it came to the end, it was like I was kind of left just like broken to, you know, pick up the pieces and try to be okay and try to move on. And you know, like I'm literally always like destroyed afterwards. But then that other person is like, you know, thriving and happy, and you know, it just like, it almost feels like I was a burden to them, and that maybe I was holding them back from living their life and doing what they wanted to do. And it's almost like they gained and they, you know, benefited from not being with me anymore. And then here I am trying to pick up the pieces and trying to be okay when I'm not. And it's just, I'm at a point where it's like, I literally don't want to feel like this ever again. And part of me is just like, if I just never, like, part of me is like, I don't ever want to get attached to someone like that again. Like, I don't want to get attached. I don't want to fall in love ever again. Like, I don't want to do this shit. I don't want to feel like this again. I don't want to be an emotional wreck for years over somebody just to sit back and see them thrive and move on. And you know, and I'm just here wondering if I'll ever, you know, get that lucky again. And it really does feel like the world is like punishing me, and I don't know why. It's like, am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to be successful? Am I supposed to, you know, like, am I supposed to have these things? I don't know anymore. Like, I really don't know anymore. And it's like the only thing that's going semi good is this channel. Granted, I'm not monetized yet, but I'm getting there, slowly but surely. Like, that's really the only good thing I got going right now is this channel. And it's like, you know, my anxiety is just on a whole nother level too, and it's just that affects so many aspects of my life. Because for one, I'm always worrying about something. Like, I'm always, even stuff that I probably shouldn't even be thinking about, or I have no reason to worry about. I literally am constantly worried 24/7, and it really fucks with my mind, and it keeps me up at night, and it just messes up so much stuff. And then even kind of tying back to the whole job thing, like, and again, the people who don't have anxiety, that's one thing I've realized too, and that's also part of why I stopped venting about this as well. But when it comes to anxiety, if you don't get it, or if you don't suffer with anxiety to like a high degree, you cannot comprehend what it's like. You just can't. I've tried to explain it to people, and people think that it's just being a little nervous about stuff. It's literally not that. Like, it's not that at all. And one thing that I've suffered with too, when it comes to this whole job hunting thing, is that going into these interviews, it's like, it's such a sickening feeling every time. And I feel like my anxiety does tend to fuck up my interviews. Granted, I'm not saying they go like horribly wrong, but I literally can't get through an interview without sounding nervous or fumbling my words or just fucking it up because of the anxiety of, what if I don't get this job? It fucks me up so much. And people think like, oh, well, maybe you need to prepare. Again, as someone with anxiety, that's all I do. I prepare and I over prepare. When I go into these interviews, I'm preparing, I'm researching the company, I'm researching the people that are interviewing me, I'm reading over my notes. Sometimes I have notes with me during my interview, like on screen. Like, It's not like I'm coming unprepared. If anything, I'm over prepared. It's just a matter of the situation is like getting to me. And it's like, no matter how many interviews I do, because I've done a lot of interviews, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And that's frustrating. I have anxiety about driving too. It's like, it's like I want to drive. And then the more I think about it, the more I think of like every worst case scenario. Like, what if I hit a curb? What if I run into somebody? And then what? Like, I just, it's really hard. And it's like, I'm not choosing to be this way. I'm not choosing to think negatively. That's just how my fucking brain is. And I have to fight it every single day. I have to fight my brain to try and stay happy. And it's exhausting. It's so exhausting. And people don't get it. They think that I'm just choosing to be sad. They think I'm choosing to be negative. And it's like, I'm not. I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to get through my day. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. This is not a choice. I promise you it's not a choice. If I could turn this off, if I could turn my emotions off, if I could just not give a fuck, I would. I promise you I would. It just sucks, man. It just really sucks. Just sitting in this house for months, just seeing everybody live out their life and do the things that I want to do, and just, I don't know, it just sucks so bad. And I've mentioned this from time to time, but also, like, I am religious. I do identify as being Christian, and that has been an up and down journey as well, because it's like, for me, just speaking for me, I'm not pushing religion on anybody. It's like, I know God is real. I know that he has shown up for me before. I know that I wouldn't have been able to get through school without him. But it's been hard trying to maintain my faith through all of this. It really has. Because it's like, why? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you letting stuff like this happen to me? Why do you keep taking things away from me that I want so bad? It's just really, really been hard, because I'm just like, what is the point? And there have been times where I kind of fell out of my faith because I was feeling like damn, like, why do you keep letting me suffer like this? Like, why? It's like I try to be, again, the perfect Christian. I try to do everything right. And like, when I tell y'all, I was such a goody two shoes growing up, because I literally was trying to do everything right. Like, not curse, never steal, never lie. Like, I kid you, I promise y'all, like, when I was growing up, I never lied to anybody. I never stole anything. Like, there were, like, and it's like, I did all of that, but then bad stuff still was happening to me. Stuff that I just felt like I didn't deserve. And it's like, well, what's the point of trying to live up to that image and trying to be a good Christian and, follow the Bible? And like, what's the point of doing all of that if you're still going to reward people who aren't even doing those things? You have people out here that are, and so that's why too, like, when I got to college, I started to just, granted, I didn't start becoming like a bad person and start like rebelling like on an extreme extent. But when I got to college, I kind of stopped giving a fuck, because it's like, okay, I spent my whole life trying to be this perfect child of God, and where has it gotten me? And so I kind of just started like loosening up and not trying to be so perfect, because I'm like, it's not benefiting me in any way. And so it's like, I don't know. It's a lot, and I know I'm rambling, and I'm probably all over the place, and I'm probably not making any sense in this video. I'm sorry, but I just really needed to get this off my chest, because it's just like, I really don't know. Like, I'm really trying to hang in there, and I'm really trying to understand what is the point of this year, bro. Like, what is the fucking point of this year? Like, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to tell me? What's on the other side? Everyone keeps telling me, oh, you're gonna go through a storm before you get, to the brighter side. This is, your valley season, and you're gonna reach your peak season. You're going through all of these bad things because you're about to get blessed with something greater. And it's like, when is that blessing gonna come? I feel like I've been waiting. I feel like I've been waiting on these blessings my entire life. I've been waiting for them. And it's like, it's just not, it's not happening. And then if it does happen, it gets taken away from me shortly after. I just want to know, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Like, what do I need to do? It's like, what do I deserve? Do I deserve the things that I want? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know. And it's just, and again, like, because of who I am as a person, it's like, I do thrive off of trying to enhance other people's lives and make other people's lives better. And I don't even feel like I'm doing that. I don't even feel like I'm bringing any value to anybody's lives that I'm currently in. I feel like I'm a nuisance, I'm annoying, I'm a burden. Like, I don't feel like I'm even doing that. Like, I really feel like I'm just not enough. I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I just feel so lost. And it's like, no one warned me that my 20s were gonna feel like this. And no one warned me that my 20s were gonna feel like this, and that there was just gonna be so much confusion and just not even knowing what to do or how to feel or how to go about things. Like, and that's another thing too, is like, I feel so lost. It's like, I had all these plans. I had so much that I wanted to do and accomplish, and it's like, in my mind, I think I'm doing the right thing and I think I know what I'm doing, but then it's not getting me anywhere. It's like, I feel like I'm taking 2 steps forward and 5 steps back every single time, and it's like, what, like, I just don't know. It's like, what should I be doing? Because it just seems like everything I'm putting my energy towards isn't going anywhere. I'm still just stuck here. I'm still in the same position that I was years ago. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm moving forward in life at all. And it's like, I'm frustrated with life. I'm frustrated with myself. And I'm just overwhelmed because I just don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm doing the right things. I don't know if I'm focusing on the things I should be focusing on. And it's like, I also can't, get myself to, like I can't I don't know. I don't know what I'm even trying to say at this point. And I've just been trying to cope with it. I've been trying to just take it day by day and just, whatever. But I just can't help but think about everything that's happened this year and how this entire summer has been everything that I have actively tried to avoid. Because again, it's like, even with the pandemic, it was like, okay, people try to rationalize that as, the world needed to sit down and take a breather and just, maybe focus on other things. But it's just like, there really isn't anything that I can benefit from being at home. And then the fact that I was at home for 2 to 3 months with no car, that also was a purpose in me coming back home. Like, it was like, oh, I'm gonna come back home and then I can learn how to drive around here. So then by the time I'm ready to go back, to Nova, I'll know how to drive. And then my car breaks down. And then I get told and then I supposedly had a job lined up the beginning of August, and then that gets taken away. And then my other source of income that was helping me to save up a decent amount of money, I get let go from that. And it's just like, and even some other stuff that happened this year that I can't even talk about, on camera. Just so much stuff. It's just like, why? Just more and more and more. I'm just like, maybe I should become like a mean person. Like, maybe, but I don't have that in me. I've said that before and I just can't do it. I'll get mad at somebody, and then as soon as they're like, hey, I need to talk to somebody, I'm answering the phone. I don't have a mean bone in my body, but I wish I did. Sometimes I wish I did. Sometimes I wish I was more mean. Sometimes I wish I was more selfish, because, not to say that I'm a good person because I expect something back, but when you're not getting much in return and you're just giving and giving and giving in the like you're putting so much good in the universe, and then the universe doesn't reward you for that. It feels very, very defeating. It feels very, very defeating, because it's just like all of this for what? You know? Like, I've been a good friend to people for years. Like, again, even stemming back to high school and middle school, like, even friends I had then, like, I literally would treat my friends like they were my siblings. Like, I would always do so much, even for people that I didn't know that well. Like, I mean, I've written papers for people. I like, when I tell you I have gone above and beyond, and I've dealt with some stuff like that most people wouldn't even deal with. People who have had family situations that I helped them through. Like, I've done so much that I didn't even have to do. And for me to do all of that stuff for those particular people, and again, I'm speaking in general over the past couple years, not anybody recent or anybody like not anybody recent in particular or anything like that, just again middle school, high school, early college, stuff like that. Like, just doing so much for people, and then them not wanting to do anything for me, or me just still feeling like, well, damn, I don't feel like I have friends like that for real, but I'm being a best friend to everybody else. The math doesn't add up there. It doesn't. Or me trying to be the perfect partner to somebody, and they still just want to be alone and do them. I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's like, what is all of this for? Like, what am I even doing all this for? And that's another fucked up thing too. It's like, again, with me already feeling like I don't have people, it does lead to me feeling like I have to overcompensate. But then it's like, I feel like if I were to decrease the amount of energy that I put into people, it's like I'm doing as much as I am already, and I'm barely getting anything in return. And I'm like, I can only imagine if I were to pull back and not do as much, how even more I'm gonna feel like I just don't have anybody in my corner. And I'm not saying I don't have anybody in my corner now. I'm just saying that's kind of how it's been throughout my life. Now I do feel like I have people that care about me, I think. But again, it's like I just don't want to, I don't want to make people feel like they have to deal with me, or they have to put up with me. Like, I want people to talk to me or be there for me because they want to, not because they feel obligated, or because they feel like, oh, well, Brie always, does stuff for me, so, I kind of have to do this for her. Like, I don't want people to feel like they, like it takes something away from them to do something for me. I don't want people to feel like that. And so that's why I've kind of just been, even like lately when people ask me like, am I okay? I kind of just brush it off, and I'm like, oh, like I'm fine. Like, I'm kind of going through it, but it's cool. It's like, it's another day. I kind of just brush it off because I don't want to keep being that person that's like, no, I'm not okay. But most days I'm just not okay. And of course my therapist went on vacation this week, so it's like, here I am on camera. But yeah, I think I said everything I had to say. I don't think it made any sense. This whole video was just a bunch of mumbo jumbo, probably. But I just kind of wanted to just speak from the top of my head and just get some things out, because I'm really, really worried about my future. Like, really worried. Depression is hard. Anxiety is hard. Having both. Try having both. Like, dealing with depression on its own is one thing, and dealing with anxiety on its own is one thing, but try having depression and anxiety. It's a bitch. It's a bitch to deal with. And unless you're someone that has actively dealt with that or is actively dealing with that, you really just don't know how it affects a day to day at all. And I don't expect people to. I don't expect everyone to be a mental health professional, which is why I go to a professional now. But it is hard, especially when you feel like people don't really get it or understand. I just really hope that my life turns out the way that I want it to. I really do. Because right now, I'm low-key in a space where I'm like, okay, should I just go ahead and try to accept the worst case scenario? It's like, should I attempt to try and embrace the idea of, being alone or having to do stuff alone 24/7? Like, even thinking about like my birthday and like the holidays coming up, I like, because I really don't want to do that stuff alone, but it's like, I don't think I'm gonna have a choice. My birthday, I might have a choice, but then it's like, even with that, it's like I'm not near any of my people, and so I'm gonna have to try to find a way to like get up there, because like no one's gonna like come down to get me, and it's like, I don't know, I gotta figure that out. For the holidays, I already know I'm going to be depressed as fuck during the holidays, because my family doesn't do anything for the holidays. My mom doesn't put up the tree anymore, so the holidays are about to be depressing as fuck again. And it's just like, should I just accept that? Like, should I just accept like feeling like that, should I accept the fact that I might just end up, you know I might just end up, being an old woman with 50 cats because I can't find nobody? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Don't know what the future has in store, but I'ma still just try to take this day by day. But yeah, so said all of that. I don't know how much better I feel after that. But at least I was able to say all of that. And if you're watching, please don't take any personal offense. If anybody that I know is watching this, please don't take any personal offense. This is just how I am feeling. If I am wrong in how I'm feeling, feel free to reach out. But I wasn't trying to, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm bashing them as a friend, or bashing anyone. Like, I'm just speaking for how I feel. And it's more so just how I feel about myself, and how I feel, about where my life is and how I've impacted other people. And am I even making an impact? I don't know. Because I even too, like, even thinking about like moving, right? Like, one big thing that I was having a hard time with is, where should I move? Because I was like, I could move somewhere that's a little bit cheaper and financially I'll be comfortable, but then I'm still going to be away from everybody that I know, which isn't going to really cure. Like, part of me moving out is to also be in a happier environment. And for me to be in a happier environment, I want to be around my friends, and I want to be able to go and hang out with people, because I've, again, been cooped up and I've been away from my friends for months. And I don't think people understand it either. I don't have any friends from back home. I literally don't talk to anybody from high school. And if I did, they don't even live around here anymore. I don't have any friends around here. I have not seen any of my friends in person in months. I just had this realization the other day. I also haven't hugged anybody in months. I have not had any type of social interaction with people outside of my mom, and my grandma, who, doesn't give hugs. She doesn't say I love you. She doesn't do any of that. That's a whole nother video topic for another time. But I don't really have that. And so if I were to move out of my house, I want to, go back to, my people and seeing them. But then it's also like, I don't know, a lot of people in my circle, they were encouraging me to just go the cheaper route and still be away from them. And so it's like, do they even want me to move up there? Like, like, or if I move up there, like, is anybody actually gonna like want to make time to see me? Like, that's stuff that I think about too. It's like, well, damn, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty much the gist of the video. I am depressed, I am anxious, and I am alone. That's the gist of the video. But yeah, that's about all I gotta say. Reaction videos will resume tomorrow. I did put up a video earlier at like 1 in the morning, I think, about Andrew Tate, because I had to clear some stuff up with that whole situation. So that video was up. But yeah, I'm gonna start back recording reactions tomorrow. I do have some pre-recorded ones that might go up before that, but I am going to be doing that. Also, God, I just got my PlayStation finally, and so I plan on starting the gaming channel back up for like the 100th time. I know I keep taking breaks from it, but I do really want to do gaming, so I'll probably start that back up. I just gotta figure out what game I'm gonna do, because games are not cheap. And so I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe just doing like a chill one just to get my consistency back up, and then maybe start doing the more, other titles. I definitely want to cover Security Breach, but I'm trying to decide if I want to, because I told myself I was gonna play all the FNAF games in order up until the release of the DLC. I don't know if I'm gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you. I might pick a few, because to just be completely upfront, I don't want to finish FNAF 1. I did 3 nights on FNAF 1 and I was over it. I don't want to do FNAF 2. Don't want to do 3. Don't want to do 4. I do want to play Sister Location because that's my favorite one. So I might do Sister Location, Pizzeria Simulator. I don't know if I'm gonna do Ultimate Custom Night, because Ultimate Custom Night is just, and I'm not gonna do all the little achievements to get the cutscenes because I just don't want to. But I low-key just want to jump into Security Breach, but I feel like there needs to be a lead up, or I don't know, would y'all mind if I did Security Breach first and then go back to the other FNAF games? I don't know. Sorry, side tangent for those of y'all who are into the FNAF stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna get back to doing stuff, but I think today I need a break. I definitely need a break after I had those panic attacks. I just really needed to take a break, so I'm gonna turn this recording off. I've been recording for an hour. Probably won't be an hour after I edit it, but I've been talking for an hour. I'm tired. I have a headache. So I'm gonna get off of here, probably get back in the bed, and yeah. But thank you for listening. If you have any words of encouragement or advice, feel free to leave in the comments or message me directly if you if we're connected. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.